All right, last chapter on modeling this guy now. We just have to do some light cleanup of it just to make sure everything is good. And we all just have to organize the scene a little bit. And we're going to model some very quick eyes here. These are not going to be final production eyes or anything. It's just going to look a bit nicer to have in the scene. So the very first thing we have to do is we just need to make sure that all the topology is legal. That means that in this case, we want to avoid using n-gons, and you want to avoid having surprise triangles. Like we have some triangles inside of the eye here, totally fine, as long as we know that they're there. But we really don't want n-gons. So how do we check for triangles and n-gons? This is quite easy. If we select the model, we go to edit mode. We select everything by hitting the A key. Now we can easily go to the select menu, select all by traits, and we can do faces by sides. Now this here is going to allow you to select based on sides. What we have to do by default is disable the extend icon here. And then we can, by default, it's going to set to 4. And now you can see it selects everything which has 4 sides. What if we want to see everything with 3 sides? You can do that as well. And now everything with 3 sides is going to light up like this. So really useful stuff. You can see here. And then we can also see something back here. It's almost like we have deliberately gone in and added a triangle for us to catch. So now we can select this one and just dissolve it. Do the same thing. Select now. And just make sure it's gone. Sometimes it's not gone even though it looks like it's gone. And then we can do faces by sides. And there it is. Now it's gone. But we have a little guy here as well. So what if we set this to 5? Now you can see that we have some n-gons. And luckily these are the only n-gons we actually have because we were very methodical in our modeling workflow. But it's really easy to accidentally get n-gons. So what we need to do is just select this guy here and just remove it. Obviously these are put in place just to show you the principle, but sometimes you have them in like spots like this where accidentally something has gone wrong. Like there are so many things which can just create bad topology whenever you're doing it. So just make sure you do this check for all the models. We're not going to be doing for everything here, but this is the gist of it. Select everything, select all by trait, faces by sides, disable extend, set the equal to, and set this to 3, 4, or 5. And there we go. So now we also just have to make sure that we have a nice clean scene as well. And this means that we select everything. We hit Control A and we apply our scale, our rotation, and our location. It's really important that you hand over a model which is really clean in this regard. You don't want to hand off something which has scale attributes like this. Little pro tip. If you hover over an attribute like this and you hit the backspace, now you can just reset this to the default. So now we have a model which is nice and clean. What we need to make sure now is that we have a nice scene. So we can delete everything here. We really don't need this. So we just right click on our our collection, and then we do delete hierarchy. That's going to delete everything. And then we can make a group here called model, and we can call this collection. This just means it's nice and easy to find something. For instance, if you want to find all the collections in scene, you can just search for col and you have them all. So now we can just rename our models here. Bottom guns, geo. I really prefer to add a geo tag to everything. This is the teeth. And then we do, these are bottom teeth, geo. Then we have top teeth, geo. Then we have head, geo, and then top gums, geo. You can also see here as well, and we have some flip normals as well. This can be pretty annoying. So, I mean, you absolutely can't have this. This happens whenever you flip something on -1, which is exactly what we did. We modeled this and we flipped it, but you won't really see it until you apply the location like this or apply the scale. So what we just have to do is hit spacebar and just search for flip normal. So we have to be in edit mode for this, select everything, and then flip normals. There we go. Do the same thing for this guy here. Select everything. And flip normals. And there we go. Cool. And now we just need to make sure this works with the subsurface modifier. So we can select everything, hit Control 1 or Control 2 or Control 3, whatever you prefer. And now we can just evaluate this like so. If you want to be extra fancy as well, you can also add separate materials to the different models here as well. For instance, if you want to bring this into Substance Painter, you obviously can't do that yet because we don't have UVs on a model. But if you want to, you have to assign separate materials for it. But for now, this is fine. It looks pretty nice and clean the way it is. Then we're going to model some quick eyes for this guy. Just select the model collection, hit Shift A, make a new UV sphere. The defaults are fine for this. Then we're just going to move it into place like so. Go to right view like this. Now when we've gone away from this menu, you can't bring this back up like so. So there's no way to actually bring this menu back up afterwards. So make sure you have your segments in order before doing anything else. Then we can rotate this. And if you hold on Control key, you're going to snap to every 5 degrees. So now we can just snap it so it's straightforward. And then we can move it in here, go to the front view, scale it down so it approximately fits. So we know this is going to fit within the eye because we sculpt this with an eye. But a lot of times people, they only add eyes to the model at this stage. They're like, oh man, it doesn't fit. And what I mean by that is that it doesn't actually fit when it comes to like the caruncula or anything like that. So it's really important that that you actually sculpt this with an eye in mind, with an actual eyeball. Otherwise, you're going to have a bad time around now. Just move it up a little. Cool. And the way you might do this for production is you might do 2 bolts. You might do one outer and one inner. We're just going to do one because it looks cooler for this. So I'm going to take these 2, and I'm just going to move them inwards like so. We can take this guy and we can set this to set flow. Now you can see it puts it in the center. And then we can take this guy and we can just scale this or just extrude this in a little like so. So very simple modeling. We are adding a loop here, we're adding a loop here, and we're adding one there, and adding one there. We can also set this and just inset this a little bit. And there we go. So if we were to smooth this now, we now have a nice little eyeball. This is a bit too sharp for me, so let's just select the line here and just hit G key twice. So now I'm just moving a bit fast here because there's nothing new. We covered everything here earlier in the series. And then we can use a mirror modifier, or you can just duplicate it over. The way you would normally do this is you wouldn't actually use a mirror modifier. You would duplicate it as a separate item. But for this, we are just going to be using mirror because we're not using this for anything final. Then we just need to set the origin to 3D cursor, or you can use this object here as a mirror object. And then make sure to apply the mirror as well. And there we go. Now we have a really nice and clean model here, which has been retopologized fairly quickly. There is no voodoo here at all. We're just modeling this up in a slow, methodical fashion. And for areas which can be reused, like the teeth and the gums, we are doing that. And for in terms of like triangles and n-gons, no n-gons whatsoever, but triangles are fine. But you can see it right now we have some triangles on the inside of the eye. But this is my point. You aren't seeing them because they're on behind here. So this is totally legit. So yeah, I really hope you've enjoyed this series. It's been a ton of fun to make, and it's always fun to see results from students. If you follow along in this tutorial, we'd love to see results. You can send them to us on, we prefer if you do it on Twitter or Instagram. You can just tag us at FlipNormals. And if you like this tutorial, please leave a review on the FlipNormals marketplace. It really does help us to get nice reviews. So thank you so much.